Welcome everybody. Um, we are very happy to have another pre-talk to our Knowledge Festival today with Dr. Piyush Juneja. He is an expert in the field of Ayurveda and has experience of over 14 plus years in this field. He is currently a practicing Ayurveda physician, a certified medical cannabis practitioner, a founder of Indian Vaidas, Vaidyas.com, fastest growing platform of Ayurveda, and also a consultant to several national and international organizations for clinical trials, medical cannabis, R&D, business development, regulatory affairs, digital marketing, contract manufacturing. So he graduated in Ayurveda from Gurukul Ayurvedic Medical College in Haridwar, one of the oldest colleges in India. He also did post-graduation in clinical research and MBA project management. He's a very successful practitioner across the country with thousands of patients treated to date and around 100,000 followers or plus over that on his Facebook page. So he's a pretty well-known man. He is a member of the board of advisors for the Canadian Association of Ayurvedic Practitioners. He has held various positions and was responsible for the management of clinical trials, regulatory affairs, research and development at GlaxoSmithKline Consumer Healthcare in India, BioMed in Canada, Neeman International, Catalyst Clinical Services and Bioinnovat Research Services. Now, he has effectively managed various diseases by Ayurveda treatment and therapies like infertility, pain management, skin disorders, digestive disorders, gynecological disorders, renal calculi, sexual problems, all lifestyle-related problems in children and grown-ups. So Dr. Piyush has presented many papers at various seminars, has been a speaker at various workshops, and also published articles in many journals. So he believes that the world is again starting to accept Ayurveda as this is the oldest field of medicine, and it treats all the diseases and ailments from the roots without any side effects. He's committed to promoting Ayurveda, and his vision is to see each and every individual incorporating Ayurveda into their fast-changing lifestyle to bring long-term stability. Now, we're really happy to have him on, and very glad that he has taken his time to make a presentation. And after the presentation, we will have maybe one or two questions. So whoever feels they have questions, please post it on the site, or if you're in the Zoom meeting inside here on the chat, and I will be taking care of that. With that, I will pass the ball to Dr. Juneja. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you so much for this nice and detailed introduction, and thank you again, Dr. Vinayak and his entire team from Vienna, Austria, for inviting me. And you people are doing Knowledge Festival in August, so it's a very good attempt. In fact, I congratulate you and all the team because this is the time we need to say, we need to spread, we need to make people aware about Ayurveda, the Indian system of medicine, the knowledge we are having from last so many years. However, due to some reasons, it was not that much propagated and advocated in the entire world. Now, gradually, we have realized that there are certain limitations of certain pathies, and if we do an approach of integrating or maybe taking some pathies together, we can at least heal as more people as we can. So ultimately, being a clinician, being an Ayurveda doctor, a Vaidya, our aim is to heal people as maximum as we can. And with due respect to all the pathies in this world, every pathy is having their own potential in terms of healing. And Ayurveda is also having uh, good, I will say, results in terms of lifestyle disorders, in terms of dealing with the root cause. So that we need to understand, and accordingly, we will be taking up the discussion today. The discussion today is predominantly related to the COVID prevention and management. However, I will start the presentation with some aspects which we all need to understand. Like, for example, you all will be here for next at least 1 hour with me in terms of speaker, in terms of listening me, and whatever I will be talking, whether it will make sense to you or not, whether it will make it will gradually be adopted or maybe taken up in terms of any blueprint, in terms of any protocol, in terms of any treatment guidelines, how it will make sense to you. And there are so many people right now who are talking, so we need to understand one aspect. In fact, in any field, there are two three types of people, two three types of speakers. One speaker is from academic. They are very good in their academic knowledge, they are very good in their theoretical knowledge, the fundamentals, the theoretical fundamentals, the academic fundamentals, they are very good in speaking and presenting. That is one aspect. However, in any medical system, be it Ayurveda, be it allopathy, any medical system, the second category is the people who are practically implementing those theoretical fundamentals, those theoretical aspects to get the desirable results. So those are known as clinicians, or those are known as actual people who are at the ground level working and healing people and actually uh, getting results. In fact, in Ayurveda, because we don't have that much of evidence, already we have certain clinical trials and certain evidence, but if you compare with the standards, still the data is less. So we are trying to get more and more data and more evidence, so that the entire world will see that, and they will start believing that yes, Ayurveda is also an evidence based science, and it helps in it's not a like pseudoscience, it's not a hypothetical system, it's a scientifically logically based system on working on certain principles, and end of the day delivering the results in terms of safety as well as efficacy. These two parameters should be there whenever a medical system is there. So safety is primary responsibility of any system, that the patients we are healing should be safe, and efficacy, it has to be effective. It's not like many times we have heard this, okay, Ayurveda is not having any side effects, so we can take the herb. But actually, that herb or that medicine is making you heal, is affecting you in terms of a positive outcome of your suffering. That has to be measured, that has to be taken care of as well. So in that scenario, we need to understand any system. So these kind of people who actually implement the theoretical concepts are known as clinician. So without wasting much time, let me just give me just give me a second. Let me share my uh, presentation with all of you, and accordingly, then we can take it forward. Just a second, please. Right. I think hope all of you are able to see the presentation now. Right? It is visible?
It's visible, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, it
So
is.
fine. So the topic is today we are talking about Ayurveda and COVID, as mentioned in the introduction. So these two platforms we have started, Indian Vaidyas, we have started around couple of years back, and now it is one of the largest platform of Ayurveda doctors. And I request all the doctors who are listening to us from India, they can register on this platform. In fact, we will be opening up for global practitioners as well soon. We have audience from around 100 plus countries right now on our website as per the latest Google Analytics data we have. So thank you so much again for supporting our initiative. And CBD Vadyas is generally related to the medical cannabis, which is also a very upcoming domain in India. It is it is there in many countries. However, in India, it has recently started from last couple of years, and by virtue of our past experience and current experience, we were able to manage several cases. Right now, more than 5,000 cases we have healed as far as the medical cannabis is concerned, and we can say that we are one of the largest right now medical cannabis clinic in India in terms of managing the patients and giving them healing through medical cannabis. So the agenda today, we will not be talking much in detail as far as the presentation is concerned. Still, I want to touch upon certain points of each and every segment. When you talk about COVID, so there are some tips to the patients and caretakers. In fact, in general, all the non-medicals who are listening to this presentation can note down these tips, because this will be important for all of you. And right now in India, we have seen the second wave. Gradually, it is coming down, and people are opening up. Several states are getting unlocked, so we are expecting that some another wave will also come, maybe in 1 or 2 months, and till the time everybody is vaccinated. In fact, after vaccinated also, people are getting infection, so it will take time. We all know that it will take time to settle down as far as this particular virus is concerned. So we have crucial next few months. So if all of us should follow some tips, we will be fine, and at least the ultimate aim is to save as maximum lives as we can. There are certain challenges of integration as well, especially in India. The challenges of integration can be different in Austria or many other countries. But as I am working in India, so I will talk some aspects of challenges in Indian scenarios. ICU and oxygen ICU management is, again, we were fortunate enough to join hands with certain hospitals and certain doctors, allopathic doctors, who have allowed Ayurveda medicines in ICU, and we were able to heal, and we were able to give relief, because several patients were not getting better after getting all the standoff care, after getting plasma therapies or remdesivir or several other treatment protocols. Get like doctors were managing, but still the patient was not improving, and we got this feedback, and certain relatives of the patients connected with us, and then we started their treatment in ICU, and somehow we were able to see the results were expedite, and they were able to get relieved and discharged in few days. Same but with the oxygen support, because in April the situation was not good in India in terms of the availability of the hospital beds. So what happened was, several patients were there on the oxygen in their home in the isolation. So we tried to manage them on oxygen support with whatever the standard of care they were getting in their home, and along with that, Ayurveda management was there. And if we differentiate COVID protocols, we can differentiate into pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID as far as the COVID protocols are concerned. Pre-COVID can be related to the immunity boosting as well. During COVID, like whenever somebody is suffering from COVID, and as we have seen, so many post-COVID complications are coming up now, with related to respiratory system, with related to cardiac disorders, with related to certain fungal infections, and so on. Mental fog, general debility, general weakness, low quality of life. Several complaints and several issues are coming up in our clinics, and we have seen that that is also a very crucial aspect we need to understand as far as the post-COVID management is concerned. So prior to starting my talk, as I said, this particular speaker who is talking to you right now will make sense to you or not. That we need to understand. And how will be understanding? See, one side we are managing the data and evidence, and we will try to publish certain data. But this data technically holds no value, because whenever you talk about data, and as I have worked extensively in clinical research industry and clinical trial industry, and I know that what actually the data means. So the standard data and the standard way of representing any data is should be a typical clinical trial in the most stringent settings, with all the global norms being followed, which is not possible in a clinical setting. So we can't have a proper team in terms of managing the data in our clinics. Now what to do? So one side is publishing case studies, publishing the experience which we can do as far as our clinic is concerned, and the other aspect of seeing that is the patient testimonial, the feedback. And as a clinician, as a private practitioner, as a like Ayurveda doctor and Vaidya, when we are practicing with the society, when we are practicing in the society, the actual evidence, the actual testimonial, the feedback is very, very important to ensure the credibility, to ensure that yes, this particular doctor, this particular Vaidya is actually helping people out in terms of healing with Ayurveda. So that we need to understand, and accordingly we can take it forward, and then it will make sense to you. As I said initially, so academicians have their strength in terms of the academic knowledge, in terms of the theoretical knowledge, which we always respect. However, clinicians actually who are managing cases holds a primary responsibility in terms of spreading Ayurveda to the society. And if we are talking about clinical management, the ideal people should be the clinicians. And if we are talking about the theoretical aspects, then definitely the ideal people will be the academicians. So that we need to understand, and accordingly we need to take it forward. So these are some cases. I'm just showing you that, like for example, this lady, the vitals were getting fluctuated, and they were on the verge of getting her hospitalized because the oxygen level dropped to 80s, and their treating doctor suggested them to get hospitalized. But as I said, in that time, hospitals were not available, and they connected with us, and we started immediately Ayurveda medicines. And within few days, the oxygen level like get increased to around 97, 98, and all the other vitals were also not there. You can see in this case the oxygen saturation was around 80, and then they connected with us. We started the Ayurveda treatment. We never believe in the words like miracle or whatever. It's not miracle, it's a science, it's a pure science, it's a logical based treatment modalities we are following. And then definitely they got improved, and the symptoms were also uh, got decreased gradually. And the third case, you can see that again, the positive attitude I want to highlight here. So see, everybody need to understand psychological aspects also matters. So on one side, definitely they were having COVID and they were suffering from the ideal symptoms. But the other side is actually what happened, and what we have seen is we appreciate allopathic doctors and allopathic fraternity in dealing with all these cases. But somehow in Ayurveda, we have felt only very few doctors are having that confidence. However, we started this campaign in April, and after that, we got this feedback from last 2 months. Thousands of doctors got benefited by this campaign that we infused, we tried to impart, we tried to convey this, and they have shared the feedback that after seeing your confidence, after seeing people treating COVID on your platform, we also got the confidence, and we also helped several patients. So that positive attitude, that confidence that yes, we can also treat and we can also manage should be there, and that we ensure that we are replicating and duplicating and infusing in each one of the patient we are dealing with, that yes, Ayurveda can heal you, yes, Ayurveda can help you, yes, Ayurveda is there for you. That positivity, that mindset, that attitude should be there, and if we are able to impart that attitude in them, the healing will be expedited, the healing will be quick. One more aspect I want to highlight here in the review, which you can see. So this is not COVID, but this is a case of antibiotic resistance. And we have seen in many cases right now in India, in fact, I'm aware about some global countries as well, that antibiotic resistance and superbug is a very crucial issue, a very important issue which we are talking about. And we have seen so many cases in India also. And when we have seen that all the allopathic medications being exhaustive, Ayurveda is working. And how? It is a scientific, by the way, parameter. What you can do is, all of you are aware that when we can do a very simple test of antibiotic resistance, we can just take the sample of a patient, and we can do in lab that, okay, this antibiotic is sensitive and this antibiotic is resistance, right? So this is a very simple test. So what we have done with some labs here, that when we gave him our Ayurvedic medicines and they are showing tremendous results, that okay, this particular medicine is sensitive to all the organisms and all the microorganisms as far as sensitivity and as far as action is concerned. So this is a very scientific tool to establish that yes, Ayurveda medicines are working in the antibiotic resistant and superbug infection as well. And it's not about us. Many Vadyas and Ayurveda doctors across the country are dealing with this and getting very good result. So that is also there. Now, next aspect we want to convey is, see, in third wave in India, there is a projection that kids will be suffering because till now 18 and above are getting vaccinated, but below 18, the children population, the kids are not that much there in terms of vaccination. In fact, it is not yet approved as far as the pediatric population and the kids are concerned. So everybody is having a concern that okay, kids will be on the risk. Then how to manage that and what to do? So in Ayurveda, we have seen that Swan Prashan is a process in which we are having gold and several other herbs as far as it's a mixture, and then we have cow ghee. So it's a classical formulation mentioned in our textbooks that when we give Swan Prashan to all the kids from 6 months to 18 years on a regular basis, we have seen tremendous results in terms of boosting the immunity, in terms of growth. In fact, we are doing this from last several years now. In this case, you can see that wife and husband both were COVID positive, and as they were living along with their kids in a small home, they were not able to uh, isolate, and they were this is a nuclear family, so they have to take care of their kids as well. So they have shared this feedback that although they both were affected, but their kids were not having that much impact, and they were having just mild symptoms, which also got relieved in 1 or 2 days. So that kind of immunity, that kind of protection we are talking about. So all these are some examples. Like for example, this one is like 11 around 50% lung damage, viral pneumonia was there, allopathic treatment going on, but not getting any specific result. So I want to again convey that yes, all the pathies, if join hands together, can deliver better results and can deliver better outcome. Now this one is again, they were in a society where every day around 8 to 10 people were dying. So the disease was very deadly. But somehow they started Ayurveda, they were not able to get scanned initially. So the feedback was that we got scan after 1 week, and in that 1 week we were taking Ayurveda medicine. So the low CT scan score was because we have taken the medicine. So that was the feedback from the patient, and we can testify and justify that as well. Now let's quickly understand the tips or the points which we need to understand as far as when we are taking care of a COVID patient, or if we ourselves is suffering from COVID, or maybe you can convey this to the entire community. Uh, See, what happens is this virus is active for at least 10 to 20 days. So whenever there is an onset of symptom, there is a report positive. Next 15 to 20 days are crucial that you need to understand, because initial 10 days are very crucial in terms of replication, in terms of growth of this virus. But after 10 to 12 days, the active virus will not be there in your system. Still, we have seen that after 15 or 20 days also, patients are having positive report. Maybe the viral load got decreased. So 20 days is the buffer in which we need to understand that we need to manage the cases. So please do not get we do not get out from isolation, or maybe do not get careless. After 20 days at least you can be relieved. So that is one thing which you need to understand. SpO2 levels can be fluctuating, and do not panic. I have seen people are panic. Okay, oh, I got 92 or 90. It will keep on fluctuating, and do not panic and do not rush to hospital unless or until you are sure that you are actually having acute symptoms. You somehow you will be under a medical doctor. Like for example, we have mentioned that from onset of symptoms you need to calculate 20 days. So you have to be under a active treatment, maybe remotely, but under a medical doctor. So he's the best person to tell you when you need to go to hospital, or when your symptoms are getting converted into a critical case, because there is no tool, there is no mechanism, there is no check that from the day one we can determine, okay, this cases will go into critical, this cases will not go into critical. Any mild or moderate case can anytime be converted into a critical case. We have seen that overnight people are deteriorating, overnight people are getting critical damage to their lungs. So do not get like careless that okay, my value is very less, I will not get converted into a critical case. No, anyone can get it converted into critical case. So, but SpO2 levels you need to understand, and anything below 90 can be alarming. So you need to consult your doctor. However, we have seen certain Ayurveda medicines that which we have used are very effective, and we have seen increase in SpO2 levels. Still, you need to check regularly. Sometimes people are not placing pulse oximeter in a proper manner, so you have to place that as well. I think all of you are aware about this instrument, the portable instrument. All of you are aware about this pulse oximeter. So you have to insert your finger completely in that, and then you have to switch on and read the noting. So it has to be at a rest. It's not like that which I am showing, but it has to be at a rest and horizontally and a stable position. You can see that it is coming as around 97 right now. So it keep on fluctuating in terms of the oxygen level is concerned. But I have seen people are, but what the error they are doing is they are not inserting the complete finger. It's a half insertion. You have to complete the complete finger. So people are just doing half, or they are bothered and they are panic. Oh, our oxygen level dropped. And sometimes you can check with multiple fingers and multiple hands as well. Because, and you have to be very clean. It is not something oily or something dirt or anything is there. So all these basic things you need to understand whenever you are doing a home level management. Then temperature and antibiotic drugs, again a very controversial issue. Still now, thanks to some research studies, it has been established that do not suppress fever initially. Fever is a sign that your body is fighting with the infection. I repeat, fever is a sign that your body is fighting with the infection. So do not suppress that with just popping up your antibiotic pills or drugs, that oh, I have got 99 fever, I have got 98.8 fever, I got 100 fever. No, till the time it is less than 100, it is fine. Your body can tolerate, and you have to carry that for some days to ensure that viral load is getting decreased. But yes, if it is to 102, 103 or more than that, definitely you can take antibiotic drugs and other medicines, again under the supervision of an medical professional. In Ayurveda also we have several antibiotic medicines, antibiotic drugs, which can help you in lowering your body temperature without suppressing that, because in Ayurveda the medicines will control your viral load. The medicine will suppress your viral load rather than suppressing your temperature. Temperature is a activity of body. Like body gives a signal as soon as any infection enters your body, it gives signal to brain that okay, this is an unwanted organism in our body, please rise the temperature of body. And brain will rise the temperature of body, and your body will start fighting with the microorganism or the infection, because these infections at a heat, at a particular temperature, is not able to survive. So that is a basic fundamental which we all need to understand, which somehow I have seen, especially in India, people are not understanding, and then they are just suppressing the fever initially, and that results to damage of the lungs and damage of other organs severely, in fact in the mild cases as well. And that research has also been published now. So please take care of this as well. Diet, lifestyle, as maximum as possible. You have to take light diet. In Ayurveda, chikitsa, it is mentioned langhanam. Langhanam means do some fasting, intermittent fasting, or have as light as you can. So diet should be light. However, good protein intake should be there, which has been established in the studies, in the research. So protein intake, in fact, you have to increase. Your lifestyle should be, you should be at rest. But yes, do not get bedridden. I repeat, do not get bedridden. You can do some yoga, some pranayam, some light exercises as per your physical ability in that duration. Mental counseling is must, because I have seen people are getting panic as soon as they get their COVID positive report. COVID positive does not mean that you will not be surviving. In fact, 90 to 95% people are surviving, and the remaining 4-5% people are also many of them are fighting life on oxygen and ventilators and coming back as well. So it's very less in terms of the death rate is concerned. Still, do not panic, and be relaxed, and because that also will impact your physical status. Isolation duration, again we have discussed that at least 15 to 20 days should be there. Breathing exercises, yoga, pranayam, stimulation, some get benefited. In some patients we have seen that initially when they started steam inhalation, the problem got aggravated. So you can accordingly manage and see that if it is helping you out, then you can continue. But if it is not, then maybe you can discontinue for some time, and then maybe post COVID you can take again. Medicines for caretakers, very very important, that whosoever is helping the patients, they also should take some precautionary medicines and some maybe herbs for the immunity boosting, because they are at a risk, they are at a like stage where they can get infected as well. I strongly recommend, do not take any home remedies or anything without discussing with the practitioner, with the registered practitioner. Especially in Ayurveda, people think that it is not having side effects, so we can take this herb, we can take that herb. No, as per prakriti, as per ingredients, as per constituent, every herb can have some side effects also. So please connect to your doctor and practitioner, and then maybe you can take it forward in terms of the any home remedies concern. And we have Ministry of Ayush guidelines, we have some protocols which again under a medical graduate, under an Ayurveda medical graduate, you can take it forward. And allopathic treatment, homeopathy, Unani, naturopathy, Siddha, Tibetan, all these system of medicines are there in India. So whatever you want to practice, you can practice, that is upon you, but do not overdo. It's not like you are following every system of medicine. At least one or two are fine, but do not overdo that as well. So these were the some tips which we thought to share on our, based on our experience, and you all should take care of this in terms of managing the COVID patients and the caretakers along with that. Now, as far as the challenges of integration, what we have felt is acceptance or trust. So many times we have seen either the people, the patients, or their relatives, or the doctors. So they are also sometimes showing resistance in terms of the other pathy, which is fine because they are not trained, they are not qualified to practice that pathy. So maybe they are not having positive mindset, but still I request, at least we can discuss, and we can give our reasons of integration. And at least in parallel, we never advocate, we never say that you have to stop any particular system, but at least addition should be there, and addition will definitely help. Till now we have not seen any drug interaction, but yes, this is a matter of research. But still at a clinical level, we have not got any feedback of any drug reaction. But yes, multiple medicines will be there, so again it's a bit challenge to have so many medicines, but we need to understand, and accordingly we need to take it forward in terms of managing the treatment protocols. Costing will definitely a bit elevated when you are infusing, but in some countries it has been taken care by the medical insurance. In India also, many things are taken care by the medical insurance. Still, there, and by the way, the Ayurveda treatment and Ayurveda medicines are costing peanuts if you compare to the hospitalization or ICU or ventilator or all these things. Ayurveda medicines are negligible in terms of the costing is concerned. Availability of medicines is an issue. Sometimes it's not available at each and every chemist shop. So that is a challenge that we have recommended to certain patients, but it was not available. So we tried some logistic um, support, and we were able to provide them. Training and orientation of Ayurveda medicines to other pathy doctors is very, very important. Paramedical staff, because sometimes Ayurveda medicines should be given with a particular anupan. Anupan means, like for example, you are mixing the medicines with honey and you are giving them, or in COVID, we have seen mixing with ginger juice is very effective. It is written in our textbook as well, especially in the respiratory system. When you give medicines, you crush them and like mix them with ginger juice. It is very very effective in respiratory disorders, and we have seen that in our cases as well. So these kind of training, these kind of orientation, and other doctors also, they need to understand there's all these medicines, we have plenty of data, we have plenty of evidence, we have plenty of clinical trials, and all these medicines are getting manufactured in a WHO GMP certified facilities with all the parameters, and all these companies are having toxicity studies, all these companies are having safety studies, all the microorganisms, pesticides, toxicity, heavy metals, everything has been done in the labs, and every batch is having all these documents and all these reports. So you can get that from all the companies. So these days now, the I will say the 2021 Ayurveda is backed by the entire research, is backed by entire evidence, is backed by the entire tools of scientifically validating all these medicines. So then I don't think so it will be have any issue for any pathy doctor to allow that and to integrate that for their patients. And this is not the time in debating that which pathy is effective, which pathy is not. My suggestion and my thought is, let's join hands and let's save as maximum lives as we can. And yes, we can always have research, we can always have trials, we can always have studies to determine the efficacy later on as well. Then ICU management and Ayurveda treatment, again, the treating doctor approval should be there whenever you are managing, whenever you are giving Ayurveda medicines in ICU. Please always obtain the approval from the treating doctor. ICU administration of medicines is a challenge. Sometimes we can give orally, but sometimes when patient is intubated, patient is unable to take oral medicines. We have mixed that in the infusions also, and we have given that as well. Daily remote monitoring of infusions, by the way, means oral. It's not intravenous or intramuscular. That is not there in Ayurveda right now. But in intubated patients, we were managed to give them through the tubes. Daily remote monitoring of vitals is very, very important, because Ayurveda treatment, the Ayurveda doctor is doing remote monitoring. They are not actually available in the ICU. That is one issue. So you have to do the follow-ups with the patient relatives and their caretakers for that, and accordingly you can recommend them the dose and the protocol how they need to take it forward. Compliance is very, very important. Sometimes we have seen the family members have given the medicines, but the ICU staff is not giving to the patient. So please ensure the compliance. And I said in the previous slide, the dose preparation training should be there, that how much tablet, or sometimes we are using bhasmas. So how much quantity of bhasma you have to infuse in one dose, and what anupan you have to give it to with, like mix it with honey or ginger juice or some kind of other anupan. So that kind of training we need to give, and then it will be beneficial to the patient as well. Oxygen support, as we said, that there are certain levels above 90, don't worry, it will definitely be improved. 80 to 90 is a bit critical situation. Sometimes people are getting hospitalized in 80s, but many times we have seen people are overcoming that in their home isolations as well, because at that time hospitals were not available. They were struggling to get a bed in hospital, but somehow we were managing, and we were able to start Ayurveda medicines, and they improved a lot. But anything below that is, again, in fact, in 80s also, I'm not saying that you don't go to hospitals. In 80 also, immediately you can go to hospitals and take guidance, but improvement will be there. But anything below that will take some time. So immediately go on oxygen support, immediately go on hospital support, whatever you want to do as per your availability. But along with that, always continue Ayurveda medicines as well. Allopathic medicines you can continue as per your stand of care, but do not stop Ayurveda medicines. They has to be there, because the ultimately end of the day, what we have seen, whatever stand of care, and in fact it has been published in some trials also, whenever we are infusing Ayurveda, it is reducing the time of healing, it is reducing the time of oxygen support, it is reducing the time of hospitalization as compared to those patients who have not given Ayurveda treatment. So that is the basic thing which we need to understand. So the point is the timeline, the clock is ticking. So as soon as we are able to get relieved from this virus, as soon as we are able to get negative from the report, as soon as we are able to increase our oxygen levels to an optimum range, as soon as we are able to decrease our symptoms, that is the key, that is the basic blueprint of this particular virus and this particular like treatment protocol which we are seeing. So anything which is reducing the time, anything which is reducing the symptoms quickly, anything which is ensuring that they come out from the ventilator oxygen support as soon as possible, should be given in addition to whatever is going on in those patients. So that is the basic idea of managing the COVID treatment protocols. All these guidelines are available on Ministry of Ayush website. I request all the practitioners to follow. In fact, all the non-practitioners also can go through some certain advisory, and certain guidelines are there for COVID patients and caretakers and those who want a general idea can follow and visit Ministry of Ayush website, and everything is available in English as well as in Hindi language as well. So you can always refer. It's a beautiful site which you can refer. And in India, as far as COVID protocols are concerned, so there is a bit confusion. Let me clarify that confusion as well. One side, Ministry of Ayush protocols are there, which has been published on the website. So predominantly, the Ayurveda doctors and Vaidyas are following that. However, we have some other aspects as well which we need to understand. Like we have this RAV. RAV means Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapit. That means that is a body in which they have selected senior Vaidyas and senior gurus across the country who are practicing Ayurveda and Ayurvedic treatment on several decades now. So it's a kind of a board in which they have empaneled these RAV gurus, and they teach the Ayurveda students, and accordingly it's a Guru Shishya Parampara, you can say. So many of them have suggested certain protocols, so we can always follow them as well. Then several Ayurveda medical college and institutes like All India Institute of Ayurveda in Delhi, they have successfully managed thousands of cases last year during the first wave, and we have seen that maximum cases are getting relieved and getting healed within few days. Their like ratio of patients getting critical is very less as compared to any other hospital. So, and it has been published in the news as well everywhere. And there are so many other colleges right now. Also, many colleges are actively managing post-COVID management is there. Then there are senior Vaidyas as well. There are middle-aged and young practitioners as well. All of them are having their own experience. Yesterday, we were studying one article from an Ayurveda doctor in Gujarat. He has managed several cases of black fungus, that is mucormycosis, with Ayurveda only. The entire story has been published in the newspaper with the evidence, with the pictures, with the data. So many Vaidyas are working, so many Ayurveda doctors are working. We can always learn. Age is not a barrier. We can always learn, and we can always interact, and we can always take it forward. Then there are certain international Vaidyas as well, like in this forum, and we will be like connecting more in the Knowledge Festival, which is in August. So international Vaidyas are also there with their experience, and predominantly pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID. So these three aspects we need to understand as far as the protocol management and COVID protocol is concerned. Before going to the medicines, before going to the list of the medicines which we have used in our clinical practice, let me just give some aspects on these three aspects which we are talking about, that pre-COVID, during COVID, and post-COVID. During COVID, I will cover up in the next slide, and post-COVID as well in the next slide. Pre-COVID, let me just discuss here only. See, pre-COVID means what? Pre-COVID means that we have not got infected till now, and maybe there are chances of getting infected, or there are chances of getting like infection. And in fact, we have seen many people who were infected last year got the infection again this year as well. Many people who were having vaccinated, like they were having 2 shots also, the complete vaccination, and after that also they are getting affected, be it any international vaccine. I have seen people traveling from US, UK, and other part of the world, and they were vaccinated there in their respective country, and again they are getting infected, and vice versa as well. People getting vaccinated here in India, traveling to US and UK, and when they have landed there, and after some time they got infected there as well. So this virus is getting mutated, this virus is getting changed every time, and so many countries are having so many variants as well. So, and it's an RNA virus, we all know that. Still, vaccination at least ensures the decrease in the death. Less vaccination still ensures the patients are less critical, the patients are like easily being managed. So always advisable to go for vaccine. So that is one thing which we need to understand. However, as I said, and as we know that again, vaccine is not a shield, vaccine is not a protection that will never get infected. So if our immunity is boosted, if our immunity is at that level, and we have seen in COVID also, so many cases without any treatment is getting healed as well. So many cases without any treatment is also getting negative as well. Why and how? Because somehow their immunity was at that optimum level, that this virus was not damaging to that extent which it is damaging to those people where immunity is not that much, and it was on a less level. And how to determine and how to see that is, and by the way, we are not we are not advocating, and we need to ensure and we need to understand. On one side we are talking about immunity boosting, but immunity boosting is not the correct word. The correct word for, especially for the Ayurvedic medicines and Ayurvedic intervention, is immunity modulating, immunity modulators. So we need to modulate the immunity. We need to ensure that whatever the optimum immunity should be there with for that virus, that we need to understand, because sometimes hyperimmune reactions, or sometimes if we are overdoing this, then autoimmune disorders tend to develop. So again, that is a science, and in Ayurveda beautifully it has been mentioned. So in various studies, in various global research studies, immunomodulating activities of certain herbs have been established, and we all aware about some herbs like it is ashwagandha, it is giloy, it is tulsi, it is haldi, curcumin. These are having immunity modulating properties, and along with that, antiviral and antimicrobial properties as well, especially tulsi and haldi if we talk about. So several herbs are there, and there is one more aspect of rasayana, chavanprash rasayana. We all know combination of more than 50 herbs. Amla is one of the best antioxidant, having free radicals in our body, and we if we take rasayan chavanprash, it will help in decreasing the free radicals and improving our quality of life, and also improving our immunity and ensuring that we are at an optimum level so that we can fight with these kind of infections. Then there are some daily procedures in Ayurveda which we called as dincharya, like for example putting certain drops of oil in your nostrils, that is known as nasyam or nasya, and putting certain oil in your mouth and doing just a mouth swish or a bit gargle and throwing that oil out of the mouth is known as kaval or gandush in Ayurveda. So all these are mentioned in Ayurveda textbooks from so many years now. So we all do toothbrush, we all apply some paste on our brush, and we all do that morning and night twice. But we are not doing nasyam. We are not keeping these practices in our life. So please do nasyam, means again I repeat, just few drops of oil in your both nostrils daily morning. Anu tel, shadbindu tel, any Ayurvedic tel prescribed for nasyam you can take. Otherwise, some natural oils like coconut oil, cow ghee, mustard oil, whatever suits as per your prakriti. You can just determine your prakriti by an Ayurvedic Vaidya practitioner, and then accordingly as per your prakriti you can take that particular oil and just put few drops in both nostrils. One tip here is we got this feedback from some patients and some people that when they started, especially the Shadbindu oil, it is a bit strong oil. So what they have done is they have just lied down and they have just put certain drops by the dropper. Please do not do that initially. If you are using it first time, it is advisable maybe with your small finger just have few drops and just apply like this. So eventually when you get used to this, when your body will get adopted as far as this particular oil is concerned, then you can have that dropper procedure also. So these are some tips, and again the oral mouth swish, there are so many medicated oils are available. Triphala water or Triphala decoction is a very good option for that, or some other oils are available which you can use for the oral mouth swish and gargles. So these two practices you should do every morning and evening along with your toothbrush or toothpaste which you are doing to ensure that this particular senses are protected and are getting nurtured, to ensure that along with the internal immunity modulating which you are doing will help you. Then quickly, when we talk about the medicines, we have already talked on these medicines in so many sessions. So, but yes, this is a separate platform. So let me just explain briefly all of you who are listening right now. My first aspect is please never take these medicines without an Ayurveda doctor. If you are a non-medico, always consult your Ayurveda doctor or practitioner nearby to you, or maybe Knowledge Festival and Open Attempt organization will definitely help you in connecting to whatever the Ayurveda practitioners and doctors you want to, because they have an exhaustive network of Ayurveda doctors connecting to them. But please always have under an Ayurveda doctor and practitioner So the treatment protocol and the blueprint is, when we started that issue, we got that, as I discussed in previous slides, that you never know whenever a mild or moderate case will convert into the critical case. So that is the issue. So just to ensure that, what we need to do, we need to start Swan Yogs at least 2 as soon as possible when we get any patient positive. False negative reports are there, symptoms are there in the patient. uh, so please start as soon as possible. As far as these Ras Aushadhis and these Swan Yogs are concerned, these are having all kind of heavy metals and poisons as well. But do not get scared, because all these heavy metals are in a form of a nanoparticle, which are not damaging any of your organ. We have done several tests and several reports are there. Before talking about these medicines, let me just give you one more thought for the day, and you can think on this. And in future, whenever somebody will give you this negativity, or when somebody will scare you about this heavy metal thing, just give this answer to them, right? Let's understand this. It's a very interesting point. So whenever you take any medicine, whenever you take any oral medicine, what happens is, these medicines will go to your stomach first, and from there we all know that any food or anything which we are taking will go to our stomach and to the small intestine, and from there the process, in fact from the stomach itself, the process will start till the small intestine. Everything will get absorbed in our body, right? And that absorption, after that absorption, what happens is, the active ingredients will flow through the blood, and it will go to the all organs of our body, right? That is the thing which we need to understand. Now if somebody is saying, okay, these have heavy metals, this will damage liver, or this will damage kidney, that kind of stuff. So my first question is, how it will damage? It will damage in a way that your blood is picking up these heavy metals, and that blood is carrying that heavy metals to the liver and to the kidney, and then it is getting damaged, right? It is not our kidneys or our liver is not ingesting these medicines. Our mouth is ingesting, and our stomach and small intestine is absorbing this, and our blood is a transport or a carrier which is taking these metals to the liver and kidneys, right? I think this is the basic concept of biology which we all understand and which we all know. Now whenever you take these medicines, next time what you have to do is get a heavy metal blood investigation. After taking 10 days, 15 days, 20 days, 30 days, in fact after 60 days, heavy doses of 2 to 3 medicines 3 to 4 times in a day, any patient can go for a blood investigations of heavy metals. And with our last 15 years of experience, we have not seen any single case where it is above the permissible levels. Already some are there already, because you are taking water which is coming from earth, you are taking food which is coming from the earth and the soil, and some minerals and some heavy metals and some poisons are already there in all the food, whether it is a vegetarian, whether it is a non-vegetarian food, whether it is water, whatever you take. But it has to be in the permissible levels. But if anything is above permissible level, not acceptable. That's why we are saying, always use standard of medicines, always use good medicines, good company medicines. And we have seen in many cases, because patients were getting scared and patients are getting misguided by some people, that okay, this will damage this and that. So what we have asked them, get a latest blood report in which all the heavy metals and poisons should be there. They should measure that in your blood, and not a single patient, I repeat, not a single patient reported till now that it is there in their blood above permissible levels. So that is the way to find out whether actually they are damaging or not, which is not. My answer to this is no, nothing is damaging your organ, if again it is taken under a Ayurveda doctor or a medically qualified doctor, because they know that how much dose, as per your prakriti, as per your body weight, age, is fine for you and you can take. And as I said, anupan is also very important for us Oshadis. So you have to mix it that with some medium, and then you have to take. So in Swan Yogs, Swan means gold. Nano gold has been researched in US and other parts of the world in terms of the antibiotic resistance, in terms of the antiviral properties as well. Nano gold and nano silver are two main ingredients of nano medicines which are being developed by many research organizations as well. So again, this is a like these are the treatment protocols. So specifically, we have seen Trilokya Chintamani Ras, Jaimangal Ras, Mahalakshmi Vilas Ras, Shwaska Chintamani Ras. We are getting very good response. Any two, preferably Trilokya and Jaimangal. If not available, then maybe you can replace Trilokya by Shwaskas and you can replace Jaimangal by Mahalakshmi. Samir Pannag Ras, these are non-gold because gold Oshadis or Swan Yogs are a bit costly. So if patient is not able to afford, or maybe you have to mix, then you can take non-gold Rasoshadis like Samir Pannagras, Mrityunjay and Lakshmi Vilas Ras. Mrityunjay specifically or Jaimangal, we have seen many cases where was not getting decreased after 15 days or 20 days as well. So in those cases, Mrityunjay Ras or Jaimangal Ras is very effective. Within few days, the fever will be in control and patient will be fine. Abrak Basam, again, we have seen a very good result in terms of respiratory diseases are concerned, and it has been researched and proven that Abrak is very effective if it is given in a purified biodegradable form. All these are purified biodegradable forms of medicines. Shrink Basam, Tankad Basam. Then some syrups, these are some brand names with the relevance of Indian practice and Indian scenarios. So maybe internationally they are not available. Still, the idea is to give a good Ayurvedic herbal syrup. Then Kala, again, it is a decoction Ministry of Ayush has uh, recommended, in which we have pepper, black pepper, we have ginger, we have tulsi, and several other ingredients as well. Then medical cannabis, again, uh, we all know about cannabis, we all know about medical use of cannabis, and it has shown in results that the damage to a particular organ, especially the lungs, in cases of COVID, is due to the cytokine storm, and that cytokine storm is being generated by the raised level of interleukins in our body. IL-2, IL-6, IL-5, and many other interleukins are there. The levels are getting raised. They are causing cytokine storm, and that cytokine storm is damaging the lungs and various organs. Now, medical cannabis has been proven in research an excellent herb in controlling and ensuring that cytokine storm is not there. And we have seen in many patients with high infection, high viral load, the lung damage is not that much because they were taking medical cannabis maybe for another other reason initially, or we have started in some patients and we have seen very good results in recovery as well. Although in India, the smoke, the vape version is not uh, till now that much prevalent and approved. But in international, global, I know that in many countries the vape and the that version is available, which is the best possible way of drug delivery as far as the respiratory systems are concerned. But in India, we have oral tinctures, which are getting absorbed sublingually. So we are asking the patients to put certain drops under their tongue because that is the second best method of bioavailability as far as cannabis is concerned, because the tablets, capsules, powder form is not that much advisable because 50% bioavailability will get decreased if we are taking tablet or any other form. So the best bioavailability form is through vape or through sublingual absorption as far as the medical cannabis is concerned. Then again, there are some tablets, as I said, Indian brand names for some polyherbal. You can understand these are some polyherbal tablets as far as Ayurveda is concerned. These are some paste. This Amasthavale. This is a rasayana. This is a kind of a chavanprash specifically for respiratory system. Yashti Madhu is a very good herb. We all know about this glycerin. So it's having a glycerine ingredient. Mulethi, I think all of you are aware about that, and many other. And then we have already talked about Nasya, Kaval, Gandus, Dhumpan, again, medicated, you can say, smoke or medicated fumigation for the respiratory system. So these are some basic guidelines or some basic protocols which we have followed as far as the active treatment was concerned, and we have got very good results in managing. I also request to all the Ayurveda doctors that emergency management is a very dynamic field. It's not that easy, and especially when you are sitting in a remote situation, that patient is consulting online. So you have to ensure that daily tracking of vitals like SpO2, pulse, BP temperature should be there. RT-PCR report you need to check, HRCT chest value you need to check, initial level at medium level, or maybe the after 20 days. Certain investigations like CRP, D-dimer, CBC, LFT, KFT, lipid profile. Differential diagnosis should be there, because in many patients we have seen it was not COVID, it was dengue, malaria, typhoid, or jaundice, or many other infections are there. So it's not that this pandemic is going on, so any other disease any patient will not have. So there can be other issues as well. You need to ensure that whenever you are managing a case of COVID. I think I need to skip all this because there is a limitation of time as well. This again a formulation CCRS has done clinical trial, and then they have mentioned about this, which is available on the website. Let me just skip all these slides. The last slide is we have this website indianvadyas.com. All of you can register as Vadyas and students. You can update your profile. You can mention timings and consultation fee as well. You can add keyword that you are actually doing, because still many people are not aware that Ayurveda doctors are treating COVID. So you can mention that you are doing Ayurveda treatment for COVID. We are right now around 20 cities in India where we are on the first page. Like if you type Ayurvedic doctor in Gurugram, Ghaziabad, Dehradun, we are on the first page in many other cities, Rajkot, Imphal, Kota. So we'll be on first page of around 100 cities in by this year end. And this entire thing is completely complimentary and free for all the Ayurveda doctors. We are not charging anything from any one of you, so you can just register your profile, and let's grow this community. Already more than 1 lakh Ayurveda doctors are registered with us. And so thank you so much for your time. I think this was from my end for the day, and any questions, any queries are welcome, and we can take it forward accordingly.
Thank you very much. That was beautiful, very in depth, and we got to understand how to get involved with Ayurveda and Western medicine. So before I get to the questions that our fellows have here, one thing just for a recap. So you would be saying that as a pre-COVID thing, we should start building up the immune system with certain Ayurvedic supplementary stuff, Chyawanprash and all the well-known stuff that you can get. But is it a formulated kind of treatment that you can give out to every Ayurveda doctor around the world? Or is it something that people would have to directly consult you to have a very personal treatment that you can deliver when COVID seems to be getting too bad or something like that? Is it something that you can pass on, and once you go to an Ayurvedic doctor and they have this protocol that you have come up with, then they can treat it?
See, my take on this is, with due respect to several Ayurveda doctors and Vaidyas, as they have their own customized formulation, our mindset and our thinking from the day one is very clear. We never encourage that. By we are talking about taking Ayurveda to a global level, and when we talk about global level, there are certain standards and there are certain manufacturing practices we need to understand. So if any good company with a WHO GMP certified process, they have developed standards, they have developed their protocols, you will be surprised to understand there are a couple of Ayurveda companies in India. They have got audited by US FDA for the Chyawanprash process and Chyawanprash manufacturing as well. So means that particular Chyawanprash is being audited by US FDA, which is known as one of the most stringent regulatory body in the world in terms of the quality is concerned. Now, being an Ayurveda practitioner as a consultant, our mindset and our way of thinking is, let the companies, let them develop these products in terms of the quality, because neither we have that much of setup as far as like manufacturing, nor we have these kind of labs in which they are doing batch analysis of safety, toxicity, heavy metal, pesticide, microorganisms, so many tests. Each Ayurveda medicine coming from a good Ayurveda company will undergo several hundreds of tests, and after that, that batch will be qualified to be in the market. So there is a stringent process, same as allopathic pharma or other companies are following. Many Ayurveda companies are following that. So let's take that understanding, and let's advocate those products who are internationally available and are being undergone these kind of stringent processes of maintaining the quality and ensuring the safety. Otherwise, yes, many other doctors and Vaidyas are manufacturing Chyawanprash. We have also done in past as well, and these days we are doing Chyawanprashan in our clinic. But Chyawanprashan is a compilation. We are not manufacturing anything. It's just we are combining some ingredients, like for example Swan Rasam again from a well-known company, or Brahmi Gritam again from a well-known company, being formulated and being manufactured on the standards, international standards. We are just combining them in a certain ratio and just giving them. That's it. So the manufacturing should be done in an internationally validated setup. Then only we can talk on the global level. Otherwise, local manufacturing by any Vaidya is fine for their local clinic, but we don't think so it will be promoted or it has to be projected through a global, because again, global level and every country has their own set of regulations which we have to respect. And in fact, in each because these raw materials, these herbs, everything will come with some toxicity as well. So once this particular toxicity is removed, there are process of removal of these toxins from these raw materials. In all the companies, they are following that, and they are advocating this by the reports as well. So Ayurveda is based on the natural resourcing, and the raw materials and everything is coming from a natural resource that we need to understand, and accordingly we need to take it forward, right?
So just for me to understand, what you're saying is basically for that level of high urgency and the level of the precise kind of medication you need, you also need to have some sort of high quality standards on the Ayurvedic medicines, and also the whole Ayurvedic community, the doctors and everybody to meet those high levels of high standards of the Western medicine. So, but also there are formulas we could use all around the world once these quality standards are met. So that's all right. Now let me please read out some of the questions we got here. First one was you were talking about the steam inhalation. The question was what kind of herbs you would be recommending for inhalation in that case.
See, actually, as far as what kind of herbs like steam inhalation, there are some general herbs and there are some specific herbs as far as the patients are concerned. Because see, in Ayurveda, what we need to understand, as far as the Ayurveda system of medicine is concerned, the entire system is a very precise. It's a precision-based system in terms of evaluating each and every individual prakriti. And if some herb can suit to someone, some herb will not be fine with some other person. So that we need to understand. Still, if we talk about some general herbs, so we have tulsi leaves, we have pipali. Pipali is a very effective herb. If you like take it in a form of an inhalation, you can have ginger, you can have haldi. These are some general herbs. Haldi is turmeric, curcumin, giloy, cinnamon. All these are some kind of I will say, a very general herbs which you can have in a general way. However, if you are looking for a specific solution, you can always get your prakriti being analyzed. So Vata person will have some set of herbs, Pitta will have some set of herbs, and kapha person will have some set of herbs which they can use and in day-to-day steam inhalation. That is the best way, and I request any one of you wants to take it forward, please connect and get your prakriti analyzed, and then maybe specifically Ayurveda doctor will help you in determining the herbs which are there for your particular prakriti.
All right. So one one thing that is connected to the question I had before is can patients from from Western countries consult over the platform you're
Yes,
having?
yes. So the point is, predominantly, as I said, we have Indian doctors and Vaidyas who are practicing in India. But yes, people from any part of the world can connect with them. In our clinic also, we are having patients from US, Canada, Latin America, UK, Europe, and this Eastern Europe as well. Then Australia, New Zealand, Southeast Asia, Middle East. In fact, in Saudi Arabia, I remember they don't allow medicines unless the Ayurveda doctor will shoot them an email stating that these medicines are for the particular treatment and this particular patient. Sometimes they do a call as well with me, and then they allow the medicines in their country as far as Saudi Arabia is concerned. So they have a bit that kind of regulation. So we are managing and we are sending medicines to many patients across the country, and many other Vaidyas and doctors who are there on our platform are doing so. So that is possible, and you all can connect with them as far as medicines and treatment is concerned. That is not an issue.
So to indianvaidyas.com, everybody can go and find consultation. All right,
Right.
very good. Now, there was like for post-COVID patients, the question about the panchakarma. So what are you recommending panchakarma treatment, and how much time should be passed, and could Vamana be a good treatment for long-term lung problems? So
Right. First of all, panchakarma treatment will not be recommended right now. Like somebody is recovering from COVID, they have to wait at least for a few months, at least for getting these all treatments as far as panchakarma is concerned. However, in panchakarma, we have this purv karmas. Whenever we are doing actual karma, we have purv karmas. That means the pre procedures. So panchakarma is constituted of 5 main procedures. That is Vaman, means like we are ensuring the toxins are being removed through the oral passage. It's a kind of a, you can say, repeated vomitings the person is doing. Or virechana is a again multiple times the person is passing stools and again they are getting detoxification is there, and then many other procedures are there. But prior to that, there are 2 terms in which snehan and swedan is mentioned. Snehan means applying oil to body externally or internally, and Swedan is applying heat. Now, if you talk about COVID, definitely Panchkarma can be done, but after a few months, till the time they have regained the entire strength, they have regained the entire physical, mental, emotional strength of their body, as well as their entire systems are being relieved. Definitely, if somebody is suffering from respiratory disorders and lungs are being infected and weak, Vaman is not at all acceptable and or advisable in that stage. The time they have to get healed, and after that we can again on the basis of their condition can advise. But Dhumpan, Nasya, all these are also procedure of Panchkarma which can be taken care initially. In fact, in active COVID treatment also we have recommended Dhumpan, means inhalation of medicated smoke. We have recommended Nasya, putting oil in your nostrils. We have recommended applying oil on your body or taking some kind of a Ghritam internally as well, which will help in healing the lungs and other uh, issues. In fact, in post-COVID, we are asking them to take Ghritam in a small quantity to regain the strength, to regain the vitality, to regain the power, to improve the quality of life. So these are some aspects which we can take care of. But yes, Vaman Virechan and the actual active procedures will take some time. Shirodhara can be done to relieve them mentally, the anxiety, the issues they are having. But again, by stating that, we also need to understand the modalities, because due to lockdown and due to high level of infections, many of the Panchkarma centers are also on risk in terms of patients getting infected if they are visiting a center. So some things which can be done at a home setting can be done right now. As soon as this will be in control and we have less cases, then maybe we can visit to the Panchkarma centers and get it done.
Thank you. And I have a final one. Is there are there any kind of protective measures you could take for children when they're going to school and playing with other children as a pre-COVID thing? What they should do? I mean, you talked about the oil in the nose and certain other things that they could eat, but anything specific to children?
Yeah, specifically, in fact, we need to understand that, see, for children and for kids, the one aspect which we have mentioned is Swan Prashanam. So Swan Prashanam is, again, let me explain, it is made of honey, then medicated kritam, ghee, then Swan Basam, nano form of gold, and some other herbs. It has been processed, mixed, and few drops daily orally it has to be given to the kids in the morning. They best is empty stomach, so 2 to 3 drops or 4 drops as per the age, weight we can give orally, and it will help them in improving their immunity. Already in India, in fact, in the medical colleges, in the allopathic medical colleges, there is a very renowned medical college in India, in Lucknow, that is King George Medical College. They have done, it's a medical university now, by the way. They have done a research study on Swan Prashan, in which they have found that it is very effective in terms of improving the immunity, in terms of growth, in terms of ensuring that a particular child is having the optimum level of health. So that is one thing which we need to understand. Second is certain kind of certain kind of rasayana are like kids are able to take. Certain companies have developed and worked on the taste as well. So taste is fine, they can take easily. Then certain herbs are coming in a form of a drops, so we can mix, we can infuse their milk, we can infuse their water, or maybe if they are liking juices or soft drinks also, so we can at least infuse those with these herbal drops like tulsi drops, curcumin drops. We can give them golden milk by infusing, so they will not take powdered haldi due to the taste and all, but they can always take, if it is being infused by the drops, at least the active curcumin is going on. And after we have seen Starbucks have launched turmeric latte, and many other organizations are launching golden milk or golden drinks for curcumin, and we all know that it is a very good herb in terms of improving immunity as well as developing an antiviral antibacterial system in your body. So that kind of culture we can develop in them, that yes, at least some herbs they can take gradually with some Swan Prashan, and that is fine. Still, if any kid or any child is getting affected, please ensure that the same as we have mentioned about adults, Ayurveda treatment should be started as soon as possible. Definitely in a lesser dose. Definitely some medicines we can give, some medicines we can't give to them. But whatever the best possible treatment we can follow, should follow for the kids, for the children as well, and it will definitely be beneficial for them. And I think one more question I received on my direct message is, when is COVID getting over? And let's conclude the discussion on this topic for the day. See, if I would have known that answer, that when COVID is getting over, I think I can be at any level. But jokes apart, we need to understand, as per my understanding, as per my limited knowledge and understanding, and I'm not scaring all of you. It's an RNA virus, and it's basically, first of all, it's a virus, and it's an RNA virus. So I don't think so it will go soon. It will be there in the society, and herd immunity is one thing, vaccination is another thing, which will ensure that it has less impact after some time. As we all know that, rather be it a HIV virus, dengue virus, any other virus, all are there. But the impact is not that much, which was there initially. So gradually it will also lose its impact. That is one good news. And second is, if we all started if we all start following Ayurveda, which we have seen, the take of this particular talk or maybe the knowledge festival which we are doing, with due respect to other pathies, and as I said initially, Ayurveda ensures quick healing. Ayurveda ensures lesser cases are getting into the critical stage, and everything is being proved, documented. Yes, more research and more documentation is required, but still we need to understand that. And it's not a single virus, by the way. I was reading and there was some news that last week some another version is also being in there, and it will spread through fishes and all, and so many other viruses and so many other microorganisms are there. And there is another chapter of discussion of superbugs and antibiotic resistant bacteria and all. So all these microorganisms will exist and will coexist. The only thing which we need to understand is, let's develop our healthcare system that potential should be there, that it will be able to elevate the immunity of all the individuals, so that we always fight in a better way. And also the treatment should be integrated, and treatment should be infused with whatever the best possible solutions from all the pathies, so that whenever somebody is getting infected, let's give them all the weapons to fight. Because if we understand, whenever we are in fight, we for any country, they have their army, their air force, and their navy, everybody on the duty to save that particular country. Same for our body also. Whenever there is a war, there is a enemy, let's have all the pathies together fighting to that particular enemy, so that our body will be protected. So on the same note, let me conclude my talk of the day.
All right. Thanks a lot. That's everything. We have taken so much of your time, but it was just great to see this kind of structured protocol to move with COVID, and the Ayurvedic way to handle the issue. Um, I've I'm very hopeful that with things that we do, like the Knowledge Festival, where we bring all these kind of systems together to find the cooperation. We'll go step by step, and we will have to do it because it's not working any other way. So we will finish this great presentation right here. For everybody, please go to IndianVaidas.com. We will have the links below the video clips, and just click on it, go there. As you heard, you can have consultations and any kind of information on Ayurveda. It's a huge site, and especially when you don't have local doctors around you. And from 16th to 22nd of August, we'll have the Knowledge Festival, so make sure you'll be there if you're interested in a discussion between all the kind of medicine systems around the world on the topic of immune system, enhancement of immune system, which will be needed even after COVID, because probably this will not be the last time our immune systems will be challenged in certain ways. So with that, and also a final one, please, if you're a professional researcher or a student, whatever, and you have papers on this kind of topic on the immune system, you can still bring them in. We're still on call for papers. So just go to our website, to knowledgefestival.org, and upload your files and your papers. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time. We will be finishing the presentation right here, and hopefully we meet again soon. Bye.
Thank you.